What's up everyone, Noah here from Beyond the Brick, and I'm excited to bring you after a long while another custom LEGO Star Wars creation featuring products from Clone Army Customs. In this one, I decided to take a sequence out of the very first episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars and decided to recreate that here in LEGO form and have Grandmaster Yoda, for example, as well as a Clone Trooper from Clone Army Customs. And if you're interested in finding that one as well as other products from their website, there are links down below that will take you to their site, and they have a variety of products that you can select and purchase to add on to your Grand Army of the Republic at home. They have capes, they have accessories, they have helmets, they have weapons, they also have full-on clone troopers that you can purchase. So if that sounds interesting to you, there are links for all of that down in the description below. I'll begin by pointing out some of my favorite details here at the bottom of the build, such as the plant life that I added here at the middle and as well as on the left and right hand sides. These are in the same color scheme as those pieces that we see towards the top of the builds that create those larger bush or tree-like pieces. And I wanted to add a little bit of plant life here at the bottom because I think that consistency, not only through color, but a little bit of plant life throughout the entire build does provide an extra layer of just detail and a better vibrance throughout the entire creation. So in this case, I added a little bit of those with some quarter tiles and some of the flower pieces. You can see again there are some of those on the left and right hand side. I did also take some of these black bar pieces or clip pieces, and that's where the quarter tiles are, for example, hanging onto, and those are just stuck here into these Technic pieces that we have along the border. Speaking of which, those Technic pieces are these 1x5 plates that are actually been flipped around and are using the underside rather than the top side, just because I really like the texture that they provide here, and also allows me to do little things like these little plant pieces, of course, by putting them into the studs. And I just think that adds another little detail here to the border. And speaking of the border, or the black outline that I have around the entire creation, it's a little bit different than what I've usually done in the past. Usually what I'll do is I'll have plates that I put bricks onto and they go around the entire creations. I'll usually, curve out the ends a little bit so it looks a little bit more interesting. But for this one, I did it differently. I took the 1x2 slope pieces, these curved slope pieces that I also have one right here in Nougat of, and I instead took those in black and I used them, but I flipped them around instead of using them just on the corners, because I thought it would be interesting to try out what it would look like if it was coming from the bottom out. And I just think it creates this really sleek and nice design for the entire creation, especially for a vignette that is in this size. And it looks really good, the vibrance, especially with all the different colors. Again, the textures here on the border, and then the little pieces like these cool corner curved slope pieces that are from some Mario sets, as well as this macaroni piece, just provide a very nice, sleek, and elegant look for the entire creation. As I move up here towards the top area of the build, you can see all of the dark tan pieces that go into the rock work for a creation such as this. And some of those pieces are, for example, just regular slopes in dark tan. We have quarter tiles, we have regular tiles, we have modified slopes like these wedge slopes right here, wedge plates as well, plates, I think I mentioned that already, but there you go again, plates as well, and some of these modified plates that are just these 1x2 rounded plates in dark tan. Those are also cool for rock work, just to sort of hide in there as well, and just provides a really cool aesthetic and look for the build. You can see that I've put a little bit more work here onto the left hand side just because there's more space to provide more rock work than on the right hand side. It's a little bit more simple here, but nonetheless does use the same pieces as here on the left hand side. Besides the black border that you see on the left and right hand side creeping up against the rock work, we also have these plants here to talk about in the top section of the build. And these are using some very simple pieces, some 3x4 leaves in the same color scheme as those smaller plants that we see towards the bottom area of the build. And these are some plants that are, for me, very important to capture because it's an important background element in the episode from Clone Wars. So I wanted to capture these as best as possible, also in the best color as possible. So after looking through my parts collection and also just seeing what's available on Bricklink, these are the pieces that I came to use, which are these 3x4 pieces or leaf pieces in the lavender color. And I think it captures it pretty well. And there's 3 different strands that I used here for these 3x4 leaf elements. I have one right here and then 2 that go up here towards the middle. And those are attached to some Travis bricks in dark tan at the bottom. Very simple connection. And they are somewhat fragile from what I can just, tell you now here. But they do attach fairly well at the bottom, and then you just have to make sure you don't come against them if you're moving the creations. So I think these turned out pretty good. And then I also have another smaller flower piece right here just to add a little bit of extra detail in the build. Before we close out, I thought it'd be interesting to show you one other area of the build that I usually don't show off when I'm doing these types of videos here, and that is usually the back area. And most of the time the back area is just filled with a bunch of filler brick and just ugly pieces, but for this one I went all out and covered here the entire back area in black bricks to just make it very nice and sleek around the entire creation. You can see this is also a nice area where it's very nice and curved. It's using snot technique as well as just regular bricks in black, as well as tile and different slopes. And you can see there how the different slopes there are used to form this area or just go around the entire rockwork area. I just think this looks super slick and very nice, and something I don't usually do that often. So this is something that is not only special for you guys to see, but also special for me to even just have for a build. That about wraps up this video. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to subscribe here to the Beyond the Brick YouTube channel for more LEGO content just like this, and for one more future build that I've coming down the pipeline in just a little bit. I've been Noah. This has been another custom LEGO Star Wars creation from the first episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars. I hope you have enjoyed, and if you want to check out the Clone Army Custom minifigure as well as the other products that they have on the Clone Army Customs website, there's of course a link down below. And with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this build, and I will see you all in the next and final build here on Beyond the Brick.